Good morning, everyone. Okay, I don't know if we have any Michael Jackson fans out there, but I'm going to say a line from one of his songs, and I'll point to you. You just have to say one word. If you know it, you can say it. Say, I'm talking about the man in the... All right, so there we go. So the man in the mirror. And, the whole song is about change. Is about looking, do I want to make the world a better place? Well, then I have to start with myself. Okay, if I change myself, then I'm going to change the world. Now, more about that in just a little bit. So, a couple of things. Number one, I talked to our students at Madonna. I talked to our students at the grade school before they went into a Thanksgiving experience. I did get a chance to talk to our grade school students afterwards. And I asked them in the homilies, all right, I challenged you when you're going into the Thanksgiving experience. I don't want you to just sit back and say, serve me. Okay? All right? You do the serving. You do something to give to the experience. And it was floored by all of our grade school students that raised their hand. They were able to share about, I didn't just think about myself during Thanksgiving. I actually thought about others. And I did this. And there were a number of students that said, I took out the garbage, and I cleaned up. I loaded the dishwasher without being asked. There was one young lady, who mentioned this, and I thought it was interesting because it was innovative. I didn't mention this. I didn't say you could do this. I did say take out the trash. I did say load the dishwasher. I did say these other things. And they did it, and it's wonderful. But this one young lady said, after everybody had eaten, they had partaken of their fill, and they were relaxing, okay? She realized, and this is an Italian family, all right? So she realized the cookies have not been distributed. So she went and on her own, she got the cookies and she went around to all the people that were relaxing, and they were lifted by the fact that she was serving them. And when I think about it, that was an inspiration of the Holy Spirit in this fourth grader, listening to the voice of God and actually following it. And when you make a good sacrifice, then it brings forth life in others and yourselves. Because as she was sharing it, she was like the sun, so bright, so filled with the love of God, so filled with goodness. So I hope that you experienced a little bit of that on your Thanksgiving celebration. Remember last week, the message was make a list and check it twice. Remember that list? Remember that first one? I don't want to, Father. All right, the first one is go to confession. Okay, that's the way in which we are in a season of preparation. Advent is a season of preparation. It does have a penitential character to it. It's not like Lent that is purely penitential. All right, so we're preparing. What are we preparing for? We're trying to cultivate within ourselves a disposition of a greater celebration of mind and heart that God actually came into the world and manifested himself. And that's what we celebrate at Christmas. That God took flesh, incarnated, and into the world to reveal to us who we are and who God is. So we want to try and better prepare for that. So one of the ways is go in confession. I said there might be, maybe one or two, but there might be some of you that are obstinate and just will not go to confession. If there is somebody that it will not go, then I encourage you to at least talk to a best friend and tell them honestly where you are in your relationship with God. Okay? It'll help. It'll help to say, it's like, because we need to do that. Because it causes us to be honest with ourselves. So if you won't go to confession, you're not going to receive absolution, but at least you'll benefit from being honest with yourself and another person. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, give to the poor. I encourage two big ones: community bread basket and Catholic charities. I go to them all the time. The third is make a list. Make a list of all the things that you're going to be doing during this Advent season. I mean, ultimately, we end up celebrating Christmas all month long. I don't have a problem with that. Some of the liturgical people do. Nevertheless, we're going to celebrate Christmas. I went and made my list. I have 10 Christmas parties. Whether, all the different ones, whether it's the grade school staff, high school staff, the staff over this parish, the staff over that parish, and on and on and on. And I love it. I love it. Whatever, you might have 1, you might have 5, you might have 10, you might have 15. Whatever it is, make a list and make sure that you're prepared for that party. So that when you walk in there, you're not fried. You're not angry. You're not upset. You're not rushed. Nothing. You are there to celebrate and to be the light in that place. Okay, so there it is. Last week, make a list, check it twice. Now, here, the man in the mirror, and really it comes down to change. That first reading in Isaiah, it's early on in Isaiah, and he is saying, normally the prophet can sometimes be the hammer of truth. Wham! That's why they hated Isaiah or Jeremiah or any of the prophets, because they spoke the truth and they spoke it crystal clear. Nevertheless, in this particular portion of Isaiah, he's not hammering the truth as much as he is saying, he's pointing to the truth that will be. Hope. There is hope. Right now we're oppressed, but we're going to be free. And so he speaks a message of hope, and that is to say, there will be change in the future. That's what he's saying. Now, John the Baptist is pointing, you brood of vipers. He's saying now to us, change. And set in the context of Advent, I put it this way. Think of just one person. I don't know if it's your spouse. I don't know if it's the way that you interact with your children, your grandchildren. I don't know if it's the way that you interact with your mom or your dad or your grandfather, your grandmother. I don't know if it's a relationship at work. I don't know if it's a classmate. One person where you are going to make a change in your behavior that's going to follow the power of the Holy Spirit. Who's your person? Right now. I know my person, in part because it's the third time I'm giving this homily. Think about it. Who's your person? One thing, just one thing that you can do that will help to change that relationship for love. If you want to make the world a better place, then look at yourself and make a change.